Hello everyone, I'm Chris Pfaff. Welcome to Flay Hive Field. We're in for the last night of football here at Flay Hive, in all likelihood, this season. Tonight, the 1-7 Wolverines play host to the 2-6 Sharon Eagles. Westwood is in the second game of their three-game consolation series, and last week things did not go well for them as they lost a heartbreaker, a score of 22-19. We're getting ready for the opening kickoff, and prior to that, we have tonight's national anthem. And after that, we'll be back with the opening kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you please rise? Gentlemen, remove your caps. Let us face south towards the American flag and honor America in singing our national anthem.
So we get ready for some football action tonight. I mentioned last week's game. Last week's game was against Medway, and Westwood held the lead going into the final minute of the game, and they gave up an unfortunate quarterback sneak. It got all the way down to the Westwood 1 or 2 yard line, and then they punched it in from there to take the lead, 22-19. Disappointing as Westwood was knocking on the door of their first win since the second week of the season when they beat Norwood 34-0. And the Sharon Eagles coming off of their first week of consolation game action. Neither of these two teams made the state playoffs, so they round out their season with 3 games of consolation efforts. And Sharon last week won their first game against the aforementioned Norwood Mustangs, and they won by a score of 34-22. So both teams looking to finish their season on high marks. Both teams looking for a victory, obviously, here today. Westwood really hungry as they have not tasted victory since the second week of the season. They are 1-7 so far this year. Sharon is 2-6. So here we go. Nick McCory, the senior, puts a foot in it, and we're underway. Nice kick into the end zone. Goes the Eagles. He fields it, takes it out. Gets it back to about the 18, 19-yard line. Probably would have done better to take a knee, but high school kick returners are not accustomed to taking knees, as very few kickoffs actually make the end zone. Sharon runs a offense pretty much exactly same setup as Westwood does. They run a spread offense, typically with their quarterback, who they mix up. They have 2 different players at quarterback, both Drew Nosler and Jeremy Ruskin. Can't see who's calling the signals yet today. We have an ender onto the right side. That's number 14, Aaron Strong.
Number 14, Aaron Strong, the ball carrier for Sharon. Tackled by number 6, Braden Locknane.
Play was good for about 4 yards. Braden Locknane coming in from his safety position to make the tackle. So it looks like Nosler is at the helm tonight. Westwood bringing the outside pressure from the corner. That's Jake Pfaff coming in, making a solid hit on the quarterback as he let go of the pass. Pass was out of bounds, fell incomplete. Westwood dialing up the blitz on the second play of the game.
Third down.
That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Third down and 6.
Both teams struggling throughout the year, obviously with their records as they indicated. So we'll see some successes and some miscues throughout the night. Here's Nosler on 3rd down, passing down, low snap, blitz from the Wolverines. Pass is complete out to the right side. He did a great job getting that ball off. And it looks like they were bringing pressure up the middle. And that was is number 58, who I don't have on my program for the Wolverines. So that's a first down for the Eagles. Nasser calls his own number. He's stopped immediately. Connor Powers, Colin Best have nothing doing with that play. Nice. Take that back. It wasn't number 70. It was number 10. Without a monitor here, it's difficult to see the numbers sometimes. That was Kevin McDonald, the right side defensive end. And on that tackle, along with Colin Best. Drop for a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. The give is to number 14, breaks a tackle, gets around the end. That's Aaron Strong. The runner on the left side. He did a nice job sealing the end. It's going to set up 3rd and about 3. The line to gain is the 41-yard line. So Sharon splits 3 to the right. We have a new quarterback in there. Nosler was split to the right. Number 14 gets the call again. There was Jeremy Ruskin who took the direct snap before he handed it off to Aaron Strong, it looked like. So as I mentioned at the top of the telecast, Ruskin and Nasler will interchange at the quarterback position. Nasler, the senior, was split to the right side on that play. And we're going to be a measurement to see if this is good for a first down or going to be 4th and very short. They're still looking at it, which means it's likely not going to get the call for first. Nope, they're going to give it to him. So with 8:14 left in the first, Sharon gets their second first down of this opening drive at the Westwood, at their own 41-yard line. Seems like if you have to look that closely, it's not a first down, but referees thought otherwise, so it's 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Ruskin passes high. Incomplete. Intended for Chris Gong. He's a very popular receiver for Ruskin. So 2nd and 10 for the Eagles on the 41-yard line. The give is to Romanow. Looked like they had a chance in the backfield, but the tackle couldn't be made. But he gets back to the line of scrimmage, does a good job.
Tackle made by number 11, Matthew Berluti. No gain on the play, third and about.
Looks like West was trying to call a timeout. I think they had someone came off the field and there was no substitute for him. They had 10 men on the field. So Westwood wisely called a timeout.
Westwood takes timeout.
To avoid that obvious advantage that would give the Eagles. 7:23 left, first timeout used by either team, and that's Westwood. It's a quick timeout, 20-second variety. Westwood with 3 down linemen. Westwood bringing some pressure. It's a wide out screen to the left side. Westwood does a nice job sniffing that out. Colin Best came over from his tackle position to finally make that stop after a gain of about 3. It's going to set up 4th and 5, and looks like Sharon is bringing out their punt team.
By Colin Best. A gain of 4 on the play, 4th down and 6.
Back deep for the Wolverines is Jake Antonucci. Westwood will hope to get their hands on the ball for the first time. End over end punt. Fielded by Jake at the 25. He's looking for some room. Gets a nice block there, but can't avoid the tackle of the multiple Sharon Eagles. So Westwood will set up at about the 24, 25-yard line, about where he fielded it originally. And the punt went for 30 yards, no return. 6:27 left in the first, and Westwood will set up shop at the 25, 1st and 10. Sharon is in the Division III for Westwood, for the state of Massachusetts MIAA, and they play in the Hockomock League. And alongside other teams like North Attleboro, Stoughton, Foxborough, Canton. And they did not fare well, finishing 0-5 in their league play. So Reed Wilson with 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. They're going to run an option left. He gives to Antonucci. Sniffed out very nicely by the defensive back for Sharon, who read run very quickly and came up a nice run support. I think that was Chris Gong who came up and made that tackle on the sideline.
Chris Gong with help from number 45, Mark Kennedy Paul.
So the incomplete pass sets up 2nd and 10 for Reed Wilson and the offense. They have Antonucci in the backfield along with Reed Wilson. Jake will split time in the backfield and at a receiver position. They've got trips right, but they're all bunched up. They fake the pitch right. They give off tackle left to Antonucci. Shakes the tackle. Good gain. Goes for about 6-7 yards. It's going to set up 3rd and about 3.
Antonucci, the ball carrier. The initial hit by Paul.
Reed Wilson coming over to Coach Brad Pendell for the next play, as he does in between each play offensively. Ball is just past the 30-yard line. Line to gain is just shy of the 35-yard line. So he's got Mark James split wide right, Antonucci wide left. Dylan Mahoney in the slot left. Looks like Shamar Hall in the backfield. He's looking to the right. The throw is to Mark James, incomplete. It was in his hands. Would have been good for the first down, but he couldn't hold on. So it falls incomplete. 4:41 left in the first quarter, and that's a 3-and-out for the Wolverines.
4th down.
Nick McCory, the senior kicker, in to punt for the Wolverines. Punt is blocked. Blocked by Drew Nasler. Came in from the offense's right side.
McCory's punt is blocked.
Despite the upbacks blocking for him, he blew right through the blocks and snuffed out that kick. So Sharon gets the first break of the game with a special teams play, and they set up first down at the Westwood 23-yard line.
23-yard line. First and 10, Sharon.
Ruskin is in at quarterback. Behind him is Romanow. Passes out to the left side, falls incomplete. I take that back. There was not Romanow in the backfield. That was Aaron Strong.
Incomplete, intended for Dodds. Second and 10.
So I don't understand, hasn't been made clear to me why Sharon interchanges quarterbacks. Usually in high school that's done on passing situations, as one might be a more stronger with the arm than the other, who might be more of a team leader or a running quarterback. So Ruskin is still in there. In motion comes Dodds. Looking to the left, throwing out to Dodds, complete. Before he's pushed out of bounds, he gets a gain of about 5 yards, maybe 6.
Ruskin's pass complete to Dodds.
Not an easy pass to complete on that angle. It's a long way to throw it. It may not result in a long game, but that's a long way to throw that football.
A gain of 5 on the play. It is third and 5.
4:12 left to go in this opening quarter. The Eagles have 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Give is to Romanow off the right side. Antonucci came up for run support, but he missed the tackle, missed the angle. Finally pushed out of bounds by Berluti and Pfaff. His speed got him up to the point of contact quickly, but he misjudged the angle to take, and Romanow got around the edge. So that's a first down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So it'll be first and goal for the Eagles at the Westwood 7-yard line. Eagles looking to strike first here. Ruskin calling the signals. Looks like we had movement. The give was going to be to Romanow off the left side, but with the stoppage of play, it looks like it's going to be an offensive penalty, likely a procedure call. See what the call is by the head referee, and it is a false start. So that'll back him up 5.
Sharon, the false start. It is a 5-yard walk-off. First and goal, Sharon at the Westwood 12.
So it'll set up first and goal, the down over from the 12-yard line. Ruskin's got 3 to his left, 1 to his right. Looking over the middle. Pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't see who got a hand on that. But nicely done by the defensive line. So you say if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, especially if you're in that passing lane of where he's looking. And somebody in the interior line there did a nice job deflecting that ball. So that'll make it second and goal at the 12-yard line. Westwood playing man coverage. He faked the up the middle run, threw quickly out to his left side, overthrows his intended receiver.
Third down.
Looked like that was Chris Gong. He would have had 2 other receivers out blocking for him on that play if the pass could have gone for a completion. So it sets up third and goal from the 12-yard line for the Wolverines. For the Eagles of the Wolverines. 3:46 left to go in this first quarter. Big defensive play here for the Wolverines. Trying to keep them back so that fourth and goal going forward is not an option for the Eagles. Ruskin. We're going to have another false start. It's going to be backing them up to the 17-yard line after this 5-yard walk-off. As I mentioned, given the record, only 3 wins combined for these two teams, we're going to see some successes and some miscues. And there we've seen a couple miscues in a row. Not in a row, but on this drive, once they got it down to the 7-yard line. 2 false start penalties backs them up, total of 10. So it's 3rd and goal from the 17. Switching coverage by the Wolverines. Ruskin looking to his left. Throwing over the middle, pass is complete. Down to about the 3 or 4 yard line. He's going to give it to him at the 4.
Ruskin's pass is complete to number 31, Brandon Buckman.
Looks like that was Brandon Buckman on the receiving end of that pass. It's going to set up 4th and goal from the 4.
4th and goal, Sharon at the Westwood 4.
And it looks like Sharon's setting up for a field goal attempt. In a season like this, it might be one of those situations you say, why not try a fake? Let's see. Mitchell Director, the kicker for the Eagles. The kick is on its way, and it looks to be good. It is. So the Eagles get on the board first with a 25-yard field goal. The Eagles lead this one 3-0 over the Wolverines. 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter. As I mentioned, the Eagles play in the Hockomock League, and they were led in the standings by a very strong North Attleboro team. Finished at an overall record of 7-1. They were undefeated in their division, followed by Stoughton at 6-2. And incidentally, those two teams face off tonight in their Division III playoff run to the state championship. Foxborough, also in the Hockomock, finished at a 5-3 record, 3-2 in the division. Milford was at 3-5, 3-2 in the division, all 3 wins coming against Hockomock opponents. Canton was 2-6, and Sharon finished also at 2-6, 0-5 in the Hockomock League. Kick, it's a squib kick, goes down to Dylan Mahoney, fields it about the 16-yard line. He's got a seam up the middle. Nice run back as he got back to his blockers in the middle of the field. The squib kick took him right over near the sideline to about the 16-yard line. Brett Littner on the tackle for the Eagles. So he runs it out to the 37-yard line. Good for about a 21-yard return. Nicely done by Dylan Mahoney. So Wilson and company set up shop at their own 37-yard line. Nice starting field position for the Wolverines. Give us up the middle to Shamar Hall, the sophomore. Play goes for about 4 yards, maybe 3.5. They're going to mark him back at the 41, so it's good for 4. Sets up 2nd and 6.
There's a gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6 at the Westwood 41.
In comes Wilson with the play. He's got Mark James split to his left and 3 receivers split to his right. Shamar Hall in the backfield along with Wilson. The give is to Hall up the middle. Quickly brought down by 12, Drew Nasler. Coming off that left defensive end position.
Back up by Drew Nasler. No gain on the play, 3rd and 6.
Play went for no gain, so it's 3rd and 6. Let's see what kind of offense Westwood dials up here. They've gone 2 runs so far in this possession. Likely passing down. Wilson looking to his right. He's got a receiver wide open at the 45. Down to the 38-yard line. That's Dylan Mahoney on that reception.
Pass complete to Dylan Mahoney for the first down.
Nicely diagrammed play. Nicely run route. Nicely thrown ball. All results in a Westwood first down.
51 on the play. Good enough for a Westwood first down. First and 10 at the Sharon 38-yard line.
So Westwood on the move. They had a 3-and-out their first possession. That's their first down of the game. So you get some repositioning of the back hall. In motion comes Antonucci. They fake to him. They give to Hall up the middle. Takes a lineman, number 72, Zach Glantz, for a ride for a little bit. I think he was a little off balance, wondering if it was going to go to Antonucci on the jet sweep, but they fake that, and they give the ball instead to Hall up the middle, where he runs for about 4 yards. Zach Glantz is one of the captains for the Eagles. 10 seconds remain. The clock is running on that run. Let's see if we get a playoff before the end of the first quarter. And as we come back to a huddle, looks like we're going to let the clock wind down. And at the end of one, we have a score of Sharon 3 and Westwood nothing, but Westwood on the move. I mentioned that North Attleboro and Stoughton are playing tonight for the Division III playoff. We'll quickly recap the Sharon schedule as it went this year. They started off the season with a win against a Randolph team that ultimately went 2-6 on their season, and they won that game 32-12. And then they rattled off, like Westwood, a number of losses. The first coming against Cardinal Spellman, losing a close game 21-14, and then to the leader in the Hockomock, North Attleboro, losing a big game 42-8, and then losing to second place Stoughton 33-0. They then lost to Milford, who finished the season at 3-5, and they lost that game 35-0. Then they got trounced by Canton 31-2. Canton finished their season at 2-6. And then they played Foxborough, losing 31-0, and they finally won a game over Norwood last week, 34-22. So we're back to live action. Westwood does a nice job sniffing that play out. Sharon does a nice job sniffing that play out. Colin Fay gets the call. He's brought down quickly. Lucky to get back. He's going to set up 3rd and 10. There's a loss of about 4. Lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So in this area of the field, Westwood has typically gone for it on 4th down. And we're going to have a penalty flag. Looks like Westwood has too many men. As off the field trots Eli Maroon. And looks like that's going to be the call. It's going to be a 5-yard walk-off. Setting up 3rd and a short 15, if there is such a thing. Call it a long 3rd and 14. So that pushes him back into an unfortunate situation. Obvious passing down. Eli Maroon has been out the whole year. I believe tonight is his first action. Eli is a junior. He's split wide to the left. Mahoney split wide to the right. 2 slot men each side. Hall in the backfield. Wilson looking over the middle. Steps up in the pocket. Going deep. Overthrows Antonucci. It falls incomplete, setting up a 4th and 15. Let's see if Coach Brad Pindell elects to try to flip the field with a punt, and I think that's what's going to happen as the punt team trots out onto the field. So Nick McCory hoping to pin Sharon deep here. A kick out of bounds would seem to be in order with his foot. He can get it down there. This time he gets it off clean, but it's not going to get where he wanted it to. He's got the back spin. Ball is knocked and downed by Michael Hanlon at the 20-yard line.
McQuarrie's punt is down at the 20.
So it ends up being a net about 25-yard punt. So he got the backspin that he wanted, but not the distance. So Sharon, with no huddle, quickly up to the line. Sets up 1st and 10 on their own 20. Give his off tackle to Strong. Found a small hole. And the play was good on good first down yardage, good for about 5.5 yards.
Second and 5 at the 25.
Second down for the Eagles. They need about 5. They go in under center. The give is too strong, and he's hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. As Kevin McDonald got in there first, slowed him up, made him alter his course, and cut back right into a few more green jerseys.
Tackle by Kevin McDonald.
Noah Hiespelink also in on that tackle.
Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6. Play went for a loss of 1. 8:37 left to go till halftime. They need to get to the 30. Ruskin looking to his right. Throwing well out of bounds.
Ruskin's pass is incomplete.
That's going to set up 4th and 6, and in comes their kicking unit. So Westwood did well, holding to the Eagles to a 3 and out. They'll drop Antonucci back. Westwood should end up with some good field position here. The Eagles kicking from their own 24.
16, Alex Filipkowski in the punt. Antonucci is back.
Closely. Antonucci, not sure if his blocker, Durker, touched it. Wisely fell on it at the 47-yard line. So he wasn't sure if Drew Durker was guilty of, he didn't know where the ball was, so it was kicked, but he was in the process of blocking the Sharon defender. So Westwood sets up with a first down on their own 47-yard line. They had something going last possession, but a couple penalties and bad plays knocked them back into a punting situation. So here's Wilson from the pistol. The give is up the middle. Play goes for about 4.
Colin Fay, the ball carrier.
Colin Fay gets the call on that one.
Gain of 4 on the play.
Second and 6.
At the Sharon 49.
Westwood into the Eagles' territory for the second time this evening. Mahoney and Antonucci split to the near side. Fake to Fay. Wilson gets the keeper. Play goes for about 2 yards before he's brought down. It's going to set up 3rd and 3. Got down to the 46-yard line.
At the Sharon 46.
So may or may not be in 4-down territory depending on this outcome of this play. Wilson's got 3 receivers to his right, Eli Maroon to his left. Fay in the backfield. Looking to his right. Pass is complete. That's John Hannon on the reception. That's good for a first down to the 39-yard line of the Eagles. To Westwood on the move here.
For a Westwood first down. First and 10 to Sharon, 39.
Westwood has had a number of drives where they've gone very well down to about the 20, 25-yard line, and then things seem to have stalled out, as they did earlier in this half, in the previous possession. So here we are, first and 10 at the 39-yard line for Wilson. Fakes to Fay. Had some pressure there by the Eagles.
Wilson's pass intended for Mahoney.
Pass was intended for Mahoney near the sideline and went incomplete. I think Reed may have just thrown that out of bounds given the duress he was under. We have Hall coming in. Be in the backfield. Substituting Fay. 5:43 left in the second quarter. Wilson's got two receivers to his right, two to his left. Hall in the backfield. He's looking to his right. He's going deep. He's got Antonucci there, but he's covered. Pass falls incomplete.
Wilson's pass intended for Antonucci, incomplete. Third and 10.
Most defenses will offer help on deep passes, especially with safety help, towards Antonucci, wherever he is. They know that he is the deep threat for the Wolverines, and they sniff that out. As their safety, Aaron Strong, was never in danger of being outrun on that play. So three receivers to the left, one to the right this time. Fay is back in the backfield. Third and 10. We're going to run a screen pass to Fay. He's got blockers. He cuts upfield, still on his feet. Good for a first down for the Wolverines all the way down to the 20-yard line. Nice call, nice execution by the Wolverine offense. I don't see the chains moving yet. It looks like we're going to have a penalty. I didn't see a flag thrown, but no one's moving yet. So I think it's going to come back.
There's officials timeout.
Perhaps not. They haven't moved the ball yet off that 20-yard line spot. No, they're bringing it back. I thought I saw one of the sideline referees give a holding call, and that's going to be the call.
Is a penalty against Westwood, a holding penalty.
Unfortunate. So that'll be 10 yards. Looks like from the spot of the foul. So it happened downfield. That's going to set up 3rd and 15.
It is 3rd down and 16 for Westwood at the Sharon 46.
Third down. Obvious passing situation here for the Wolverines. Fay in the backfield. Wilson looking over the middle. He's got pressure. Gets away from one defender. Looking to go long. Can't avoid the pressure and finally goes down. Could not set his feet to get the pass off.
Wilson is sacked by Drew Nasler.
He kept motioning for the receivers to go farther downfield, but I think, frankly, they had outrun the likelihood of a pass by that point. So that'll bring in the punting situation as the holding call comes back to haunt them.
Warriors in the punt.
And we have a timeout called by Sharon.
Sharon takes time.
That's their first. 4:14 left to play.
There's a 20-second timeout.
So I mentioned earlier that Sharon picked up their second win of their season last week, playing a home game against the Norwood Mustangs. Norwood, to this point, has yet to win a game. They're 0-8, and they won. They also scored 34 points, winning 34-22. McCory's punt, he gets a nice spiral off, turns it end over end, and gets it to turn over. Missed tackles right and left by the Wolverines. Big run back here by number 3, Chris Gong. He's one of their go-to players. And he walks into the end zone with about a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown. We do have a flag on the play. It's thrown at the 34-yard line. It might have been a face mask by the punter, Nick McCory, as he was the last man to try to make a stop, and it looked like he possibly reached out. I thought I saw the runner's head turn away. That only happens with a face mask. And that is the call, and it's going to be declined by the Eagles.
There's a penalty against Westwood, which will be declined.
So the play goes for a 90-yard touchdown return. 9-0 the score. Sharon in the lead over the Wolverines.
Mitchell Director in for the extra point try, so it's holding.
Mitchell Director, number 4, the kicker for the Eagles, will try the extra point. And we have movement on the interior line.
There are flags.
Looks like that was Jaden Williams Thomas, lineman, tackle guilty of the procedure penalty. We'll try it again, 5 yards further. Equates to about a 25-yard field goal, which is what he made earlier in this game. High snap. Kick is up, and the kick is just inside the right upright, and it's good. So I believe that's the first punt we've had run back for a touchdown this year. That makes the score 10-0 Sharon. 3:47 left until halftime. Westwood will receive the kickoff. So elsewhere in the Hockomock League, they have Foxborough playing against Dennis Yarmouth. Foxborough was 5-3, and looks like they were in the playoffs. They're facing a 9-0 Dennis Yarmouth team, as they likely have the number 1 seed at that record. As I mentioned, Stoughton and North Attleboro are playing against each other. Holliston and Milford square off tonight in Milford. And Canton plays at Medway this evening. That rounds it out for the Hockomock League. So Mitchell in to kick off after the successful point after attempt. It's a pooch kick. Ball is attempted to be caught by Sean Gallagher. Unable to hold on to it. There's a scramble for the ball, but it looks like Westwood was lucky enough to get back on top of that one, because that could have really been disaster for this.
Westwood fielded the kickoff.
Sean tried to catch it over his shoulder, kind of like a pass, and he was on the end position. In all likelihood, it was going to head out of bounds, given the angle it was kicked. It had a good chance to. It might have been a little wiser to let that go out of bounds. So Wilson sets up at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. 3:44 left to go in the half. Westwood's put a couple short drives together, but they've stalled out due to some unfortunate penalties. We have a timeout by Westwood. Coach Pindell wants to talk things over. They call their second timeout.
Full timeout.
So Westwood will play their final consolation game, opponent yet to be named, as is the case with MIAA. They announce week to week in these 3-week set of games, Sunday or Monday. So the team has a full week before the Monday practice to prepare and has a chance for the coaching staff to look at some films on the Huddle service that all the high schools seem to subscribe to nowadays, where they share film of each other against common opponents and each other's entire season. So Wilson brings the team back out onto the field. It's like Hall is in the backfield. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. In motion comes Antonucci. He gets the handoff around the right side, shakes a tackle, looking for more room. Finally brought down near the first down marker. It's going to be short. Oh, the referee kept inching forward. I think they're going to give him enough for the first down based on that spot.
Tackle by Romano.
No,
It's a gain of 10 on the play.
no, just short. They're going to call it 2nd and inches. So the clock keeps running as they marked him down in bounds.
Marked short of the line to gain. 2nd and inches at the Sharon 48.
3 minutes left to go until halftime. Westwood would love to get on the scoreboard. They trail 10-0 to the Sharon Eagles. Antonucci in motion around the left side. Breaks a tackle. Can't break the second one.
Antonucci, the ball
Play is
carrier.
good for about 8 yards and a first down.
Brought down by Aaron Strong. It's enough for a Westwood first down.
So they moved the chains. The clock was stopped, but now that the ball is set, they start again. 2:37 till halftime. Westwood not showing a sense of urgency, electing to take their time to the line. They have 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line of the Eagles. Wilson brings Antonucci in motion. They fake to him and they give to Hall up the middle. Play goes for about 3 to about the 37-yard line.
Shamar Hall, the ball carrier. Tackled at the
So they're using that
37-yard
jet
line,
sweep
gain of
and the jet sweep fake, the motion, a lot more this half than they have all season.
37.
Antonucci is out on this play. Durker is in. Durker split wide right. Mahoney split wide left. In motion comes Hannon. They fake to him. They fake Hall up the middle. Wilson on the keeper, trying to get around the right side. And he's good for a first down. We've got a Westwood player shaken up on that. Number 58, I think that's a Hispelink. Doesn't appear in our program. Oh, it is, 58, Noah Hispelink. My mistake. So a timeout on the field. Westwood with a first down at the 28-yard line. Minute 15 left to go until half.
Ben's last chance to get those 50-50 raffle tickets.
It's a beautiful night here tonight. Breezy with 67 degrees. Extremely warm for November 3rd. Many people are here shedding their jackets and they're wearing just T-shirts. Breeze is coming right over our press box, headed towards the high school itself, right over the field, moving in a right-to-left fashion for the Westwood offense.
First and 10 Wolverines at the 27.
So the Wolverines have a first down at the 27 of the Eagles. Minute 15 left to go until halftime. Wilson drops back, looking left, going deep to Antonucci in the corner. Complete.
Wilson's pass complete.
He's out of bounds, just shy of the goal line at the 1-yard line. The Eagle defender jumped. He was there. He jumped at the wrong time. and came down as the ball came over him and right into Antonucci's arms. So we have a 1st and goal at the 1. Wilson has Hall in the backfield with him. Wilson runs up to the line, takes a snap, calling his own number, looking for a push into the end zone. We have a touchdown by the Wolverines. 57 seconds left to go in the half. Westwood gets on the scoreboard with a quarterback sneak that seemed to take forever by Reed Wilson, but they weren't bringing him down until finally his backfield came in and gave him a push for the 6. Nick McCory on to try the extra point.
McCory is in for the extra point try. Wilson holding.
Snap is good. Kick is down. And it's good. Just through the left upright.
Sharon 10, Westwood 7.
10-7 our score. Sharon on top, but Westwood finally on the scoreboard just before the half. So last time McCory kicked off to start the game, he kicked it into the end zone where the Sharon returner brought it out to about the 20-yard line after about a 22-yard return.
Fans, how about those cheerleaders?
Let's see if
Those cheerleaders last week at the TVL competition.
See if they elect a deep kick by McCory or a squib kick to prevent setting up a run back.
Furthermore, a shout out, a happy birthday to Berwin Land, Westwood cheerleader.
Special birthday announcement. Our PA announcer, one of the Westwood cheerleaders, brought about a big cheer. So not taking a long run up to the ball is McCory, and he's going to pooch kick it. And it's headed toward the sideline, but fielded at the 20. Bobbled there by Strong, but he picks it up. And he is brought down by Loughnane and Hannon.
Brought down by Loughnane and others inside the 30-yard line. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line.
Ball's at the 28-yard line. Strong bobbled the kickoff, but recovered it. And his return went for about eight yards. 47 seconds left until half. Sharon with 3 of their 5 timeouts remaining. Let's see what they elect to do. And they're going to be in an I formation. Not their typical offense, but seems to indicate that could possibly be a run to run the clock out. Let's see what happens. The give is to the second back, Strong, and he's backed up by the Wolverines. And we might see a timeout called by Westwood, and we do. It's a big loss of yardage by Strong. Loss went for about 9.
And Westwood called timeout.
So Westwood would perhaps employ the remainder of their timeouts to make sure Sharon kicks the ball away. In high school football, anything's possible on a punt. Bad snap, bad kick, a block kick, big run back. If you can get in that punting situation, and Westwood in this situation would have good field position in all likelihood. So they're back to the shotgun. Two running backs in the backfield. They give us to Strong. Breaks a tackle. Gets off the right tackle. And Westwood players looking to the sideline. Are we calling a timeout? And they elect not to. Shamar Hall coming out of the ball game. Looks like he has an equipment issue.
Gain of 1 on the play. 3rd down.
So Hannon comes in for Hall on this next play. And the clock is running, so the clock will expire. And we have a halftime score of Sharon 10, Westwood 7. Westwood will receive the kickoff for the second half, and we'll be back with that second half after this break. So we're back, ready to start the second half. Westwood won the coin toss to start the game, elected to defer to receive the ball to open the second half. Mitchell Director is the kicker for the Sharon Eagles, and we get ready to start the second half. Eagles on top, 10-7. Director puts a foot in it towards the right sideline. It's going to go out of bounds where that'll draw a penalty flag. And the ball will be brought, I guess it'll be marked at the 25-yard line. It's about where it went out of bounds. I'm not sure if that's the spot on the penalty. Now they're going to move it forward, or they get the chance to re-kick it. So let's see what the Westwood already has their offense out there, so seems like they're going to mark it at the 30-yard line, which is the rule for high school.
The out-of-bounds kickoff results in the ball placed at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
So it seems like they would rather kick it out and give him the ball at the 30 than put it in the hands of Jake Antonucci on an open field run. So Westwood sets up 1st and 10 from their own 30. They scored a touchdown on a quarterback sneak last time they had the ball in their hands. Let's see how they open. Antonucci, the lone man in the backfield, looks to be taking the snap directly. Looking to pass it out to Mahoney. Ball goes incomplete. Ball was thrown in the dirt. It looks like they tried to do something there, a little different. So they had Jake Antonucci throwing the pass that time instead of Reed Wilson. It was low. Dillon had no chance. In fact, if he caught it, he would have been on the ground and would have gone for about a 5-yard loss almost had he come up with that reception. So it's a good thing he didn't. So he's got Antonucci still in the backfield. Wilson on the sideline. And he's going to call his own number, runs up the middle, and then breaks it to the left. Nice open field tackle there. Flag is down. That's Chris Gong.
There's a flag on the play.
Chris is the one who ran it back, the punt, that is, from Nick McCory, all the way into the end zone for their only touchdown of the night so far.
There was no gain on the play.
Play went for no gain on a nice open field tackle by Gong. And was looking for the call on what the penalty flag was. We had some discussion on the far side of the field. I think they're going over the options with the Sharon coach. But no call made as yet. So it looks like they're electing to accept the penalty and push the Wolverines back, giving the Wolverines a second chance at second down. Don't know why this explanation is taking so long. Seems like an either-or situation. It's a hold against the Wolverines. Depends on where the hold occurred because it's a spot foul. So they're marking it actually not as a spot foul, but from the end of the run. So it's going to set up 2nd and 20. A short 20, a long 19. Wilson back in at the helm. Clock is running. Looking over the middle, stepping up in the pocket, going deep for Antonucci. He's back there. He's got him. Complete down to the 30-yard line of the Sharon Eagles. Wilson to Antonucci. Play was good for 50 yards, just shy of 50 yards. Call it 47 yards.
Wilson to Antonucci, first down, Westwood at the Sharon 32.
So Westwood hooking up their longest offensive play from scrimmage tonight, and quite frankly, in quite a long time. Wilson in the backfield with Hall behind him. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. The give is to Hall up the middle. He's got an opening there. Gets to the second level.
Hall, the ball carrier.
Brought down by Brett Littner.
Tackled by Littner.
Littner is a linebacker.
And 5 on the play. 2nd and 5.
Haven't called his name
27.
yet tonight. It was a nice hole. Good first down yardage for the Wolverines. Gain of 6 brings up 2nd and 4. Same play up the middle. Hall stays on his feet through the middle. Still on his feet down to the 3-yard line.
Hall, the ball carrier for Westwood.
2 big plays by the sophomore. And the Wolverines are knocking on the door.
Ball started inside the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Westwood.
They mark it at the 2, where it's 1st and goal for the Wolverines.
3-yard line, it is 1st and goal at the 2.
Westwood
25-yard run for Hall.
losing 10-7 at the moment. They stack 3 receivers to Wilson's right. Hall in the backfield. The give is to him again. It hit initially, but he's still going. Gets down to the 1. He was hit in the backfield, but able to shed that tackle. Got some assistance getting down to the 1-yard line. Last time they were here, Wilson saw an opening, called his own number with an audible. Went with a quarterback sneak, which was good for the touchdown. The lone touchdown by the Wolverines tonight. 2nd and goal at the 1. Wilson back in the pistol. Westwood's line seemingly pushing the Eagles on this drive. Low snap. Give us to Hall up the middle. He's in for the score. Westwood takes the lead 13-10.
1-yard touchdown run for Hall.
So Hall got the last 33 yards of offense with his running. McCory in to kick the extra point. Wilson to hold. Pfaff to snap. Kick is on its way, and it's good. So Westwood pulls ahead, 14-10. 7:41 left in this third quarter. Westwood was back and forth last week. We had lead changes, something we haven't had a chance to see all year against Medway. Unfortunately, the last lead change fell in favor of Medway with mere seconds left in the game to finally win it 22-19. So McCory on the field to kick for the Wolverines. Tri-Valley, as you know, is split into large and small. And Millis still in the hunt for a Super Bowl berth at 7-1.
McQuarrie in the kickoff for the Wolverines.
They won the Tri-Valley Small
Sharon goes
with a record of 7-1. Here's McCurry. Puts a foot into it. That's going deep into the end zone. Lands behind the end zone, past the end line. That was an extremely long kick for high school. Those are the kind of kicks you only see wind-aided in college and with some frequency in the NFL. Very deep kick for the Wolverines and the senior kicker, Nick McCory. So Westwood playing with a lead now. Would love to get a 3-and-out. Force a punt. Sharon lining up in the eye. 2 tight ends. Flanker to his left. Is Ruskin at the helm. Second back through is Strong. He's stopped there. Ball comes loose, but after the whistle, gain of about 1 to the 21, 2nd and 9. Sharon back to the eye. Give us to Strong, and he's met quickly by Jake Pfaff off the left side. Tackled for a loss. They're moving him backwards. That's what the Wolverines wanted. Loss of about 3. It's going to set up 3rd and 12.
Loss of 3 on the play. It is 3rd and 12 at the Sharon 18.
So Sharon drops back into their spread formation. Ruskin looking down the right sideline. He's got a man. Throws over the wrong shoulder, out of bounds, falls incomplete. And that's going to be the 3 and out Westwood was hoping for. Sharon brings in the punting team. 6:21 left in the third. 4th and 12 from the 18-yard line. Antonucci back deep for the Wolverines to field this one. Kick is away. Antonucci fields it at the 47. He gets through the first layer. He's got some room. He's got only the kicker, and he's going to go for the score. Westwood, 47-yard touchdown kick return by Jake Antonucci. With 6 minutes left to play in the third, Wolverines gather a 2-score lead. Jake went untouched, got through the first layer, and he only had the kicker to beat, and he did easily as he went in for 6 for the Wolverines. 20-10 our score. Wolverines look to add to it with the extra point. We need a ball to kick with, as the Wolverines had only the punting ball that Sharon was using. As each team elects to use their own balls, as players are used to handling. 21-10 our score. Westwood looking to add to it. And it's good. They do. 21-10 our score.
Westwood 21, Sharon 10.
Outstanding punt return by Jake Antonucci. Fielded at the end over end kick at the Sharon 47-yard line, and then took it back all the way, really untouched, unchallenged. So Westwood going to be kicking off. Nick McCory was very excited after his last kickoff went through the end zone in the air. See if he's called upon to do the same thing by Coach Pindell. They will alternate between the deep kick, the pooch kick, or the squib kick. It's a full moon tonight here in Westwood. Beautiful night, as I mentioned earlier. Temperatures only dropped a degree from first half to second half. Very unusual warm night for November 3rd. Nick taking a deep step back, so he's likely going to put his best foot into this one. And he does. And it's traveling deep into the end zone. Goes back through it. Another strong showing by Nick McCory. He's had one good punt, unfortunately. Ran all the way back 90 yards for the only score by the Eagles. And his other punt was not quite so deep. He was looking to try to put some backspin on it, and it didn't go quite as deep as he'd liked. So Westwood out on the field for defense. Sharon setting up 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. In the spread is Ruskin. Westwood showing blitz. They back off. They're coming over the side. Pass is almost intercepted by Braden Locknane. It was overthrown to his intended receiver, Chris Gong. We do have a flag down in about the defense linebacker area. Let's see what the call is. Coach Pindell out to talk to the referee, perhaps about his options on the incomplete pass with a penalty. We had ineligible receiver. Oh, no. 12 men on the field. No, he motioned to that the penalty was on Westwood, but it.
Signal for ineligible.
So it was declined either way by Westwood. I think the referee erroneously signaled that it was against the Wolverines, but he would have had no reason to talk to Coach Pindell if that were the case. So they'll take the down, makes it 2nd and 10. They elect to do that instead of 1st and 20. Westwood defense certainly playing downhill right here. Look maybe for a screen pass or something. And they do over the middle to Chris Gong. It's complete. Good for about 5 yards. Brought down by Drew Durker. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. Big 3rd down here. Sharon would love to stay out on the field with a 1st down conversion. So here we go. Sharon in the pistol. 2 receivers to Ruskin's right, 2 to his left. Westwood bringing the blitz. They're going high and deep downfield. Passes out of bounds. Incomplete. Brandon Buckman, the intended receiver. Drew Durker on the coverage along with Dom Howe. Brings up 4th and 5, and the punting unit comes on for the Eagles. 21-10 our score, 5:10 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Familiar territory. Antonucci back at the 48, right around where he caught the last punt. He took the distance. High snap. Fields it cleanly. Bad kick, out of bounds. He was in a hurry. Connor Powers was in there quickly, put some pressure on. And Westwood's going to get the ball at the 22-yard line. He kicked that ball in a hurry, and as a result, it didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Went about 5 yards past where he kicked it. So no run back, but excellent field position for the Wolverines as the offense takes over at the Eagle 22-yard line. 5 minutes left to go in this 3rd quarter. Wilson brings the play into the huddle. Maroon and Hannon to his left. Antonucci and Mahoney to his right. Hall in the backfield along with Wilson. The give is to Hall up the middle. He's got room. Good 1st down yardage. Gets about 4, maybe 5 on the play. Let's see where they mark it. They're going to give him 4, setting up 2nd and 6. Same unit stays on the field. No substitutions.
A gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Hall having a good day offensively, running the ball. His offensive line by the Wolverines is really starting to run and block downhill. Hall bounces this one out to the right side. Play could have gone stop for no gain, but he does get a gain of about 3. Gets to the 15-yard line. They need to get to the 12 for a first, so that's going to set up 2nd and 3. 3rd and 3, take that back.
A gain of 3 on the play. It is 3rd down and 3 at the Sharon 15.
So not sure if they'd be a 4-down territory here or if they'd elect to kick their first field goal of the season if this play does not result in a 1st down. Wilson in the spread. 4 receivers, 2 to his right, 2 to his left. Hall in the backfield. The give is to Hall. Up the middle, he goes. He's good for 5. He only needed 3. It's a 1st down for the Wolverines. Ball spotted just shy of the 10-yard line. So it's going to set up 1st and 10 at the 10 and a half. This is the first time since the Norwood game we've seen this offensive line really get a good push, resulting in some nice holes up front. Fay in the backfield now, subbing out Hall. They bring a tight end in. Both sides, they got double tight. Flanker split right and left. The give is to Fay. He's got a seam there, but he's hit there by a linebacker. Looks like that's Brett Littner coming up from his linebacker position to make the hit. Play goes for 2 yards. 2nd and 8. They can get a first down just shy of the goal line. Clock is running. 2:20 left in this third. 2 tight ends. They go pitch right to Fay. He's got opening. He's got room. He's in the end zone. We do have a penalty flag on the play. And we're going to get a holding call against Westwood. So that's going to back them up, take the points off the board, and back them up 10.
The initial signal is the penalty will be against Westwood. There'll be no touchdown.
Hard to say if the infraction is what resulted in that large gaping hole that Fay ran through without the benefit of replay. I don't know who the call was against, which player.
It is a holding penalty
but
against Westwood.
Doesn't matter. One person makes a mistake, the entire team pays the price. So it's going to be a 10-yard penalty, set up 2nd and 18 from the 18. As I mentioned, they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Fay in the backfield. Wilson looking left. The flanker, Antonucci, on his feet into the end zone for touchdown, Wolverines. They had single coverage on Jake. He ran about a 7-yard in. Wilson hit him in stride. Defender could not catch up to him. He shed 1 tackle around the 4 or 5 yard line, and he waltzed into the end zone for a touchdown. 27-10 our score. It's all Wolverines this third quarter. McQuarrie in for the extra point. Corey's kick is on the way and good. 28-10 our score with just under 2 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Westwood has not enjoyed a lead like this since the second week of the season when they shut out the Norwood Mustangs 34-0. That score was 20-0 at the half. Westwood was losing this game 10-7 at the half, but it's been all Wolverines this half with 2 offensive touchdowns and a punt return for a touchdown. 2 scores by Jake Antonucci. Westwood really pouring it on this third quarter. Good balance, good mix of offense with run and pass. As I mentioned before, Sharon plays in Division III. Westwood finds itself in Division IV this year. Doesn't mean a whole lot at this point in the season. That is based on school size and enrollment. McQuarrie runs up to it. Boots his third kick towards the end zone. This one will also be through the end zone. I'm corrected. It's the 4th that made to the end zone. 1 was run out to start the game, but 3 have gone through for touchbacks. Nick really putting together a resume tape for colleges on this game. His extra points have been incredibly high and easily long enough. Not something you always see in high school. So he's looking to move on to the next level next year. He is a senior, transferred to Westwood from Florida this year. He elects to only kick. He only punts and kicks. He doesn't play any other positions for the team. We have a stoppage of play for some reason. But now we get set to go. Sharon, 1st and 10 from the 20. Reskin looking left. Pass is complete to Buckman. Brandon Buckman on the reception there. Brought down by Braden Loughnane on coverage. Believe that was Braden. Pass is good for a first down. Just got past the line to gain.
It's a gain of 10 on the play, enough for a Sharon first down, 1st and 10 at their own 30.
Westwood in their 4-4 defense. Sharon in their spread offense. Ruskin takes the low snap, looking over the middle. Passes behind the intended receiver, Austin Dodes. He is a captain, wide receiver. Thrown behind him. Really didn't have much of a chance to catch that one. That sets up 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Westwood showing blitz. They back off. They give us to Romanow off the right side. And he's stopped for a loss. Jake Romanow. Haven't called his name since the first half. Strong has been occupying most of the time in the backfield. 28-10 our score. Wolverines in the lead. Clock is ticking with 47 seconds left in this third quarter. 3rd and 12. Westwood would love to make a stop here, forcing a punt. Westwood defenders playing up on press coverage. Each defender up close to their receiver. They bring in a blitz on the left side. It's Loughnane. They go over the middle. Pass is picked off by Jake Antonucci, who's playing safety. Scott is still on his feet, trying to use his speed down to the 24-yard line. Better than a punt, they get an interception. We do have a flag thrown in midfield. Looks like in the spot of the return. Let's see how that plays out. Let's see what the call is. The ball on the return was spotted at the 23, but the referees appear to be moving it, ready to walk it back towards midfield. So likely going to be a block in the back or a holding call. We do have a block in the back against the Wolverines. Occurred at midfield. That's a 10-yard walk-off. That moves it back to the 40-yard line of the Wolverines, where they will set up their offense. So Wilson and company with Fay in the backfield in the spread. The give is to Fay. Bounces it off the left side. Has some room there. Nice hit. Nice tackle by the defender. That's Chris Gong. He's one of their go-to players on both sides of the field. As I mentioned earlier, he is the one who ran that punt back for their lone offensive touchdown. We do have a timeout on the field as the clock winds to 0. That was the last play of the third quarter. So we have a score at the end of 3, Westwood 28 and Sharon 10. So I mentioned the Tri-Valley Small final standings. The Tri-Valley Large, Hopkinton was our leader for the Tri-Valley Large, winning the division. They have an 8-0 mark, and they are I believe they're number 1 seed for Division III South. They're still in the playoffs. They are playing Dartmouth tonight. Dartmouth checks in with a record of 5-6. Appears they have somehow gotten 11 games so far in on their schedule. Not sure how that happened. But Medfield followed, had an equally good season at 7-1 for their record, losing their only game to Hopkinton by 2 in an overtime matchup with the Hillers. Wilson. He's got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 to each side. Fay in the backfield. He's looking to the right, now back to the left. Play appeared to be a broken play from a receiver position as no one was where he expected them to be, so he simply threw it out of bounds. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8 from their own 42. Not sure what happened on that play, but whichever it was, Reed did not see what he expected to see, so he wisely threw the ball out of bounds rather than force the issue in their own end of the field. Three receivers to Reed's right. Eli Maroon, the lone receiver, to his left. He's looking to the right. They've got some pressure. Now he's looking out of bounds. He had some room to run. It seemed like he threw it a little quicker than he really needed to. Nonetheless, throws it out of bounds, bringing up 4th down. And the Wolverines will bring in the punting unit.
For Westwood at their own 42. McQuarrie is in the punt. Back deep for Sharon. Goes and gone.
McQuarrie gets a nice kickoff, bit of a spiral. Fielded there, taken out of bounds. Looks like that's Austin Dodds who caught that ball, and his momentum took him out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
McQuarrie's punt fielded at the 18-yard line.
Either way, it was. If he hadn't done that, it would have gone out of bounds at just about the same spot. So really, it was not much to be made unless he could have stopped his momentum and turned a return upfield. But he doesn't. So the Eagles take over, 1st and 10 on their own 16-yard line. Westwood in the lead on this one in the 4th quarter, 28-10. 10:32 left in the 4th on the clock. Ruskin looking to his left. Can't find anyone. Now he's going long. So it was a scramble. Threw a high pass out of bounds. Good coverage there by Durker, Loughnane, and Antonucci. They were all in the area, making sure no one with a white jersey was going to come down with that one. Loughnane hurrying to get off the field, and he just does. Westwood had some personnel confusion. Ruskin looking over the middle. He's got a receiver open for a moment. Dodds.
Incomplete.
The closing speed when it was Antonucci, the safety. He had him for a brief moment, but the ball was up there. Just had too much air under it, and Antonucci had enough time to get over there in coverage. So with 3rd and 10, they bring in an extra coverage guy, take off the lineman. So on comes Loughnane, and off comes McDonald. Third and 10 for the Eagles from their own 16. Ruskin takes the snap, looking over to his right. Thrown behind his receiver.
Ruskin's pass incomplete.
Receiver was Alec Flipkowski, and he has been an offensive producer for the Eagles this year, but that's the first time we've had to call his name today. So the Wolverines have done well to keep him in check. So the punt team comes in. Jake Antonucci at the Eagles' 40, ready to field this one. It's an end-over-end kick looking to go out of bounds, and it does. Let's see where they mark this one. It is not a good kick.
Kowski's punt goes out of bounds.
Not sure where they're spotting it. Looks like they're spotting it at the 30. They keep marking it off. 37-yard line. 36.5-yard line.
Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Westwood at the Sharon 37.
So Westwood, 10 minutes left to go in this fourth. They enjoy an 18-point lead. A 3-score lead is something they have not had since the second week of the season. Ball placed in the right hash mark. So it went out of bounds in that far side. So Westwood looking likely to run some clock off with some running plays. Would likely not want to see an interception return for a quick score or anything like that. They just want to work the clock. They give us to Fay off the right side. He's got a nice push by his line. Nice running by Colin Fay, the sophomore. Still won't go down. They finally blow the whistle dead at the 22-yard line. Play was good for 15 yards. A first down, but no one's moving, so we might have another offensive penalty.
There is a flag on the play.
Holding against Westwood.
Holding penalty against Westwood.
So this second half, the holding is probably the only thing that is getting in the way of what would or otherwise be a almost perfect half for the Wolverines. So the play went for 15, and they go back 6 on the penalty. It's a big penalty, 21-yard penalty in effect. So Wilson, he's got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers to his right. They give us to Fay, same play off right tackle. Big hole for Mr. Fay, and he goes down at about the 32-yard line. Big gain. Nicely done by the Wolverines offensive line to open up a nice hole for the sophomore running back. Westwood definitely playing this half running downhill, and Sharon seems to be running in quicksand. They can't seem to get any momentum going defensively. They cannot seem to stop the Wolverines offensive line. Fay in the backfield along with Wilson. Still 2 tight ends. They give us to Fay off the left side. He gets the corner, breaks the tackle. First down yardage down to the 20-yard line. Colin Fay racking up some yards. Last quarter it was Shamar Hall. This quarter it's Colin Fay. That'll be first down at the 20-yard line.
Wolverines at the Sharon 20.
8 minutes to go in this one. Westwood enjoying an 18-point lead. Two tight ends. 2 receivers to his right. Fay in the backfield. They give to Fay. Around the right end. Breaks it upfield. He's still on his feet. Another big gainer for Colin Fay. Down to the 4-yard line, or 6-yard line they mark it. Good for 14 yards.
A gain of 14 on the play. Another Westwood first down. First and goal, Westwood inside.
Nice job running. Nice job blocking by the offensive line. Westwood with a first and goal at the 6-yard line. Would love to punch this one in. 28-10 our score. Westwood on top. It's been all Westwood the second half. Same formation. They're not changing what's working. Seems like those extra tight ends brought in are really helping with the blocking. Give us to Fay. He slips on a cutback attempt, and he loses about 3 yards down at the 9-yard line.
Fay, the ball carrier.
So that'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 9, maybe the 8.5.
Loss of 2 on the play. It is 2nd and goal at the Sharon 8.
Clock is running. 6 minutes remain in this 4th quarter. This final game for the Westwood seniors here at Flahay Field. Many started their career with Pop Warner playing here in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade. Wilson on 2nd down. Gives it on a counter to Fay. He's got a block. Almost breaks it through to the 2nd level. Still a gain of about 5 yards on the play, down to about the 3-yard line.
Tackled by
Littner in on the tackle at his linebacker position. So sets up 3rd and goal.
It is 3rd and goal.
And they're going to mark it at the 4-yard line, not the 3.
Down and goal from the Sharon 4.
Two tight ends with a balanced line. 2 flankers to the left. Fay in the backfield. They give us to Fay off the left tackle. Plunges ahead to about the 1-yard line. And Westwood has a decision to make here at 4th and goal from the 1 as to whether or not kick the field goal and go up by 21 points or score a touchdown. Go for the touchdown on 4th and goal. Looks like they're going for 6. Electing, with a season like they've had this year, I don't blame Coach Pindell for going for the touchdown on this play. Again, 2 tight ends with a balanced line. 2 receivers to the right. Fay in the backfield with Wilson. They're blitzing up the middle. Give to Fay. Cuts back. He dives into the end zone for a touchdown for the Wolverines. Westwood goes on top 34-10. So Nick McCory, the senior, will try to make it 35-10 on this point after attempt. The hold is good. The kick is good. And that makes our score Westwood 35, Sharon 10.
Westwood 35, Sharon 10.
Looks like we may have lost a football as it went over the fence into the wetlands that abut Westwood High School. It's nice to see the seniors in their final home game enjoy this type of a second half. Really was disappointing to think that last week might have been their last home game here, but once they got the word that they were hosting again the second week of consolation games, they're really taking advantage of this opportunity to win at home in their final game. Westwood will play in Holliston on Thanksgiving morning. McCory's kick, not as deep as others, fielded at the 6-yard line. Running down the far sideline is a Sharon returner. Looks like that was Austin Dodes fielded that kick. Ran it out to about the 25-yard line. Will they'll mark it 1st and 10?
It will be 1st and 10 for Sharon at their own 25.
So 4 minutes left in this one. Westwood enjoying a comfortable lead. Haven't been able to say that in a couple months. It's nice to be able to say. Sharon lining up in the I formation. Likely looking to run clock off. Ruskin still at quarterback. The give is to Strong. A nice run off the left tackle by Strong. It's good for 10 yards. And a first down for the Eagles.
A gain of 10 on the play. It is a first down. First and 10. Sharon at their own 35.
So clock continues to run on the successful running play by the Eagles. Back in the I formation is Ruskin. The give is to Strong. Off the same play off the left tackle. Good first down yardage. Another first down for the Eagles. Play goes for about 14 yards down, up right up to midfield.
Another first down for Sharon. First and 10 at midfield.
Ruskin on the counter. Nice play by Noah Heaspelink to bring down the Eagle ball carrier. That's Jake Romanow. Tackled for a loss of about 4.5, 5 yards. Nicely done by the junior linebacker.
Tackle for a loss of 4 on the play. Second and 14 at the Sharon 46.
Sharon running out of the I. The give is to Romanow. Again, tackled for a loss. Westwood line just anticipating where that play was going. They sniffed it out easily. Goes for another loss of about 3. That's going to set up a long 3rd and 14, 13 yards. 18 yards, take that back. So back into the pistol formation go the Eagles. Ruskin throws across the middle. He's got a receiver who's falling down on the pass pattern. Looked like Jack Hannon on the coverage. Looked to be a little bit thrown too high anyway. So we have an incomplete pass, a stoppage of clock with 1:21 left in the fourth. And Sharon will bring out the punting team.
Fourth down.
Another poor kick fielded quickly there by Durker.
Durker fields the punt.
Bit of an odd play there. He was running back to block. Looked up and just saw the ball land right in his hands.
First and 10 Wolverines at the Sharon 48.
1:10 left, and Coach Pindell is going to let senior Reed Wilson finish this game out at quarterback. Is it being his last game here at the Hive? A little confusion for personnel as Westwood's trying to sub in some other players who have not seen as much playing time. And Reed is just going to be taking a knee. And obviously Sharon will allow that without any contention.
Reed Wilson, the keeper.
Extremely satisfying win here. It's just been all Westwood the second half. Passing, running, everything they've done. Defense, they shut down Sharon. Sharon really had one offensive drive in the first quarter, resulting in a 25-yard field goal. And other than that, Westwood has really done a great job keeping Sharon off of the scoreboard offensively. Like I said before, their one touchdown came on an extremely long punt return by Chris Gong. He'll likely remember that one for a while in his own scrapbook of memories of high school football. But this one belongs to the Wolverines as they pull out the victory tonight with a strong second half showing, losing 10-7 at half, turning this one around, winning 35-10 over the Sharon Eagles. They have one game remaining in this consolation schedule. Then they will have a week off. Then they will play in Holliston on Thanksgiving morning. Still a little bit of football left to play, but that'll do it this year from Flay Field. Westwood improves to 2-7, and Sharon falls to 2-7. So for Westwood Football on Westwood Media Center, I'm Chris Pfaff. Thank you for watching. We appreciate all of your patience, all of your allegiance to Westwood Football this season. And we'll see you next season right here on Westwood Media Center. Thank you very much.